Hello, yeah, I want to specially welcome you to this tutorial. It's a pleasure having you. So in this video, I'll be taking you through how to design a roll-up banner. How to design a roll-up banner. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now the first thing I want to do is to set our document size. So I'm going to go to File, New. So for this size, the size I want to use for this roll-up banner, in pixels, you can see the width is 1772 and the height is 3650. Okay, the resolution is 300 and the color mode is RGB. Now the color I'm using, the size I'm using for this roll-up banner is the size of the mock-up I'll be using, okay, for the roll-up banner. So that's why I'm using this size. So I'm using this size so that it's going to fit in properly into the mock-up I want to use. Okay, so it's not that this is the standard size of a roll-up banner. So in your own case, if you want to design a roll-up banner for someone, perhaps that is meant to be printed out, you have to get the precise size for that roll-up banner. That is, you get the exact size. Then you set your own. It might be in pixels, might be in inches, or any size you get. But the size I'm using here is the size of the the mock-up I want to use, so that it's going to fit in properly without making any other adjustments after I'm done designing my roll-up banner. Right. So having said that, the next thing is to name our work. Let me just name it I think salads. Let me just say salads banner. Okay, so let me say salads roll-up banner. Okay, alright, so I'm going to click on create. So this is the size of what we just set. I'm going to click on Ctrl 0 to fit in properly. Alright, so having done that, the next thing I want to do now is to bring in an image, the image I would like to use here. Okay, I'm just going to go to I can either drag and drop it into Photoshop or go to File. I'm going to come down to Place Embedded. So I'll go to where I have my image. This is the image I want to use. This image, I'm going to click on Place. Alright, so I have my image. I'm going to adjust it to the top like so and make sure it fits in properly. Alright, so having done that, the next thing I want to do is I can adjust this a little bit like so. This image, I want to adjust it like so. I want to make it bigger a little bit, so something around this side. Just gonna make it bigger. I'm going to make it like so. So something like this. Like this is cool. So I'm gonna click on this to check it. So once I'm done with this, the next thing I want to do is I want to lock this this image. I want to lock it so that I won't get to tamper with it while I'm designing. So this is the layer, this is the image layer at the top, on top of the background layer. So I'm gonna click on this padlock icon to lock it so that I won't be able to move it anymore, as you can see. Alright, so having done that, the next thing I want to do now is to go to my rectangle tool, which is this. So I'm gonna draw a rectangle like so, something like this. Okay, something like this. I think it's cool like this, right? So I'm going to change the color of this rectangle. Just gonna use this color, like this or this. Okay, this is the color I want to use. So I'm going to show you the color code later. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on the stroke, which is this, and just make the stroke none, as you can see. So I'm going to click on this to go back, and the color code for this shape, this is the shape layer here. So I'm going to double click on this. You can see the color code for the shape. This is the color code here. Alright, so having done that, the next thing I want to do is I want to make two more copies of this shape, of this rectangle. So I'm gonna I can click on Ctrl J to duplicate the layer, or hold my Alt key and then move it. So I can just click on Ctrl J while I'm on the shape layer, which is this, right? So I'm gonna click on Ctrl J to duplicate it, Control or Command J in case I use a Mac. So I'm gonna then after duplicating it, I can use my arrow key to move it like so. The arrow key, my arrow key on my keyboard to move it like so. Then I have something like this. All right. So having done that, the next thing is I want to duplicate this one thing once again. Ctrl J. I'm gonna move it like so. All right. So I'm gonna click on this, the middle one, which is this. This is the middle shape. I'm gonna move it a little bit like so. I'm gonna click on this one, the third one. I'm gonna click on Ctrl T. I want to expand the size like so a little bit. Expand the size like so. Then I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna click on the first shape, which is this. I'm gonna click on Ctrl T as well to expand the size of this shape as well, like so. So once I'm done, the next thing I want to do is I'm gonna click on the first shape, which is this, the first one, which is this. I'm gonna drag it on top. Okay, this is the first shape. Let me just say this is the shape one. Shape one. Okay, so the second one is this, right? Okay, I'm gonna double click on this to rename it. I'm gonna say shape two. Okay, then the third one, which is this, right? This is the third shape. I'm gonna double click on the name to rename it as well to shape 3. All right, so I'm gonna move shape 1 on top, then shape 2 will follow shape 1, then shape 3 will be below this. So what I want to do is I'm gonna click on shape 1, which is this, the first shape we created, which is on top, right? I'm gonna double click on a layer like so, double click on it, then it's gonna take me here, and I'm gonna click on the drop shadow. I'm gonna set the drop shadow for this layer, for this shape basically. So the drop shadow I want to use for this is for the angle 90 is cool. Then for the distance, I think I'm just gonna adjust it. Let me distance 0. Then for the spread, I think the rest is okay like this. Then the opacity 86 is cool like this. I'm gonna click on OK. So having done that, the next thing is that I want to bring this. So you can see once I created this effect, this FX, you can see we have effects on the layer here, which indicate layer effects. So I want to apply the same effect on the second shape, which is this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that instead of going over and creating it again, I'm going to make sure my cursor, you can see, is on this FX, effect, this FX. And I'm going to hold Alt. While holding Alt, I'm going to click and drag it on top of the other layer I want to apply it to, which is this second one. As you can see, now as I dragged it on top of the second shape, automatically the shape, the effect has been added to the second shape as well, to the shape 2. As now have the drop shadow on this shape as well. I'm going to scroll down and while holding my Alt key, you can see I'm holding my Alt key, I'm dragging it on top of the third shape as well, the shape 3. So I'm going to hold my Alt key, click and drag it on top of the shape 3. So I have the effect on the shape 3 as well. This is drop shadow. So that's that about that. So having done that, the next thing I want to do is that I want to create a shape. Okay, I want to create a shape like so. I'm going to come to my rectangle tool. I'm going to drag this shape like so. I'm going to drag this like so. So I'm creating this shape. After doing that, the next thing is that I want to change the color of this shape. First, I'm going to click on this. The first one here, which is this, is for the color for the fill. I'm going to click on this. I can as well do that on top of this at the menu bar here. Okay, let me just do that there. So I'm going to come to my fill here, click on the fill. So I want to make the color something like this color, this off-white. So I haven't chosen the color. I'm going to click on the stroke and make the stroke none. All right, so I'll go back to my move tool. So I have this. So what I want to do is that this shape, I want to drag it below the other shapes we have here. Okay, I'm going to drag it like so. I'm going to drag it below like so. So I have it just below this, as you can see. So for the color code of this, let me double click on it and show you the color code. This is the color code E1 E1 E1. This is the color code for this particular shape here. So the next thing I want to do is to lock this shape as well. I want to lock this shape. So I want to do something here. Before that, I think I need to. I'm going to click on these 3 shapes. This shape 1, shape 2, and shape 3. I'm going to select the 3 shapes, and I'm going to drag the 3 shapes up like so. Okay, to something like this, to this point like so. All right. So having done that, the next thing I want to do is to. I'm going to go to my. I want to bring in some icon here. Some icon. So I'm going to go to, I can either drag and drop or go to file, place embedded. But here I want to drag and drop here so that I can show you how it's been done. So I'm going to go to where I have my I have the icon I want to use. So this is the first icon I want to use here, which is this. I'm just going to drag it into Photoshop. So I have the Photoshop in the Photoshop icon just below here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to drag it on top of the Photoshop icon. So once I drag it on top, so I'll make sure the Photoshop opens before I drop it inside. So I'm going to drag the icon like so on top of my Photoshop. Once it opens, I'll drag it inside and drop it here like so. So the next thing I want to do is to, I'm going to adjust the size like so. So I want to change the color of this shape, of this icon rather. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to double click on this. I can double click on the layer and add color overlay. Okay, in this case I want a white color actually. Okay, but I think it's not giving me a pure white. Let me try to. I'm gonna double click again. Color overlay. So I'm gonna make sure it's white. So if I'm not getting the pure white, what I can do is I can just basically double click on the thumbnail. You can see we have this thumbnail here for this smart object, for this icon. I'm going to double click on it. Okay, so once I did that, it opened a new window for me where I can do some adjustments. So I'm going to double click on the layer once again here. Then I'm going to go to my color overlay. I'm going to make it white. Now I think it's giving me a white color here, right? Okay, so in case yours is not white, you can click on this box. Once you go to color overlay, you can click on this box here, this blend mode box, and select the color I want to use. So in this case I want to use white, so I have white there already. So after doing that, I'm going to come by here and click on this cancel icon. Click on this cancel. I'm going to click on yes. So automatically it's going to add the effects to the one we have here, because that's the one we actually edited. So I'm going to click on Ctrl T to edit this, to reduce the size of this icon like so. So I'm going to just adjust the size a little bit. Then I'm going to just make sure it's well aligned to the way I want it to be. Okay, so having done that, the next thing I want to do is I want to apply the same. I want to do the same to the other icons. I'll be bringing in 2 more icons. So I'll go to my folder as well. I'm going to go to the other icon I want to bring in, which is this one. I'm going to just I'm going to. So before doing that, basically there's something I want to do. So this checkup icon is on, you can see it's on top of this first shape, right? So that's what I want it to be. So for the second icon, I want it to be on top of I want it to be directly on top of this second shape, which is this shape 2. So what I'll do is that before bringing in the icon, I'll make sure I'm on the second shape. Okay, so I'm going to go to where I have my shape, and I'm going to drag in my icon like so. I'm going to drop it, so you can see the icon will not be on top of the shape or of the shape 2, right? So what I want to do next is to just adjust the size like so. I'm going to adjust the size to my preferred size. It's my preferred size. Okay, I'm going to drag it. I'm dragging this. Okay, let me go and lock this icon as well. This rectangle we created, this background, I'm going to lock it. Click on while I'm on this background, this shape. While I'm on the shape, I'm going to click on the padlock icon to lock it. Okay, so that I don't get to tamper with it while I'm working. So I'm going to click on this this icon. I'm going to click on control. I want to adjust I want to change the color from black to white. I'm going to double click on the layer. You can see I'm on the layer, the icon layer. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to click on color overlay, white, but I'm not having a proper white here, so I'm going to do the same thing I did while bringing this icon. I'm going to double click on the thumbnail. Then it's going to take me here. I'm going to double click on the layer once again. I'm going to go to my color overlay. and you can see, oops, so color overlay. So we have white like so. Okay, so once I have my white color, I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to click on this cancelled. I'm going to click on yes. All right, so we have our white color. The next thing I want to do is to resize it by clicking on Ctrl T. While I'm on the layer, I'm going to resize it like so. All right. Okay, so once I'm okay with the size of the icon, Ctrl T, I think I need to resize it a little bit more. Just going to adjust it like so. All right, so I can do something to make sure the two icons are well aligned. Okay, I'll do that later. Let me bring in the third icon I want to use. So for the third icon as well, make sure I want to click on the third, the third shape, which is this. So while I'm on the third shape, I'm going to go to where I have my icon. I'm going to bring in a third icon, which is this one here. I'm going to drag it and drop it to Photoshop. Just drop it like so. So I'm going to go to, just going to resize this as well. All right, I'm going to click on it and move it on top of this as well. I'm going to double click on the layer. I'm going to add color overlay, white. So I don't have white, so I'm going to click on this as the thumbnail. So I'm click on this. I'll double click on this once again. I'm going to click on color overlay, click on OK. So once that is done, I'm going to click on this cancelled and yes. Okay, so you should be very good at doing this by now. Then I'll click on Ctrl T. I'm going to resize this as well. Okay, I'll make sure it's well resized. I'm going to adjust it. Oops. Click on this, adjust it like so. So I want to make sure the three are well aligned. I'm going to use my ruler on top here. You can see I have my ruler here. So in case yours is not showing, you can go to view. See, we have ruler here. Just make sure your ruler is checked. So mine is checked. So I have this ruler here. I'm going to just move it down like so and make sure it's well aligned vertically. You can see the three icons are well aligned. So once I'm okay with that, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to my text. Okay, so I'm going to go to my text. The first text I want to add is I want to go to my text tool, which is this. Click on this. Then I'm going to click on, it's loading. So now all the text I want to use are ready already because I already typed all the text I want to use, so that's going to make my work easier. That's going to make it faster. That's what I already. So that's what I usually do to make sure all my texts are ready. So I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to go to where I have my text, which is this. Okay, the first text I want to add is Jacob, which is this one. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to come back here and paste it. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to I'm going to highlight it like so. I'm going to go to where to the size. It's currently on 41 point pt. So the size I want to use for this, I can come to, you can see once I over this TT. So I have this, my cursor actually changes. So that means I can reduce or increase the size of the text. So if I should click on it and drag it towards the left, it's going to reduce the size of the text like so. So I think, let me just make it go down more like so. Something like 15 or 14 or 16. Let me check out 16. I'm just going to drag it like so. I'll go back to my move tool. I'm going to drag the text out like so. So once I have this text dragged out like so, I think it's cool like this. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this text as well, this checkup. So what I'll do is I'm going to click on Ctrl J. So while I'm on the layer of the text, this is the text layer, the checkup, I'll click on Ctrl J to duplicate it. And I'm going to use my arrow key to move it towards the right side. So I'm going to place it on top of the second shape, which is this. Okay, so once I'm done, I'm going to double click it. So I'm going to go to my next text that I have here, which is this diagnosis. Ctrl C. Then I'm going to paste it here as well. Okay, and I'm going to, you can see our work is very, very easy and faster, right? So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this as well. Ctrl J. All right, so I'm going to move this as well towards this side. Just this. All right. Okay, I'm gonna double click on it and go to where I have my text and copy the text I have here as well. Ctrl C, then Ctrl V to paste it like so. All right, I'm going to adjust it properly. Okay, we are getting there. The next thing I want to do after doing that is I'm going to bring in some other text, right? So I'm going to go to, like, what I want to do is I'm going to I'm going to group all of this together so that our work can be well organized. So I like grouping my works while I'm working so that it can be well organized and I can quickly access anything I want to access while I'm designing. So I want to group all the icons and the text and the shapes, all of this together, so that I can easily identify them. So from this first aid, I'm going to scroll down to the shape 3, which is the third shape here. I'm going to hold my shift key. While holding shift key, I'm going to click on this so that all of these have been selected from the top up to this point here. And I'm going to click on Ctrl G to group it. So now you can see if I should toggle this off, everything is gone. That means all of these have been grouped into one, are now into one group. Okay, so I'm going to double click on this group to name it. I can name this let me just say shapes. Let me just name this shapes. Let me just say shapes. You can name it anything you feel like. So having done this, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to my text once again. I'm going to click on this. Okay, I'm going to bring the text I want to use. Like I said, I have my text ready. So the first thing I want to bring in is this. So bring in Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, so the font I'm using is Poppins. Okay, Poppins fonts. So I'll click on Ctrl A to highlight the text, and I want to change the size of the text to something like 40. Let me check out 41. So I'm just gonna move this. I'll go back to my move tool, and I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna bring it somewhere around. I'm gonna place somewhere around here. Okay, so as you can see, if this text cannot be so visible on this background because the background is somehow light. It's white as well. So a white text on this white background is not so showing. So I need this text to show more, right? And I don't want to change the color. I want it to be in white color. So what I can do to this is just to add shadow to this. So by adding shadow to this, the shadow is going to make it appear more visible and more readable. You get my point. So to do that, I'm going to come down to the layer. This is the layer here, the text layer. This bring in. I'm going to double click on the layer. Then I'm going to come to drop shadow. I'm going to click on drop shadow. You can see once I added a drop shadow to this, you can see we have this this text is now more visible. So I can just play around this. Let me just say the distance is 12. Okay, I think it's cool. And the spread, can work on the spread as well. Oops, too much for me. Okay, I think 5. So let me just kind of so the size, can play on the size as well. Okay, all right, so I think this 38 is cool as well, right? I can make it, let me make it 45. Okay, so the spread 5, let me spread 6. Okay, then I'm gonna click on okay. So I'm done with the drop shadows. So now it's more visible, right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to duplicate this bring in. So I'm going to click on Ctrl G. I can either hold my Alt key. While holding my Alt key, I can click on it and drag it down like so. It's the same thing. Okay, so it's now being duplicated. I'm going to double click on this and bring in the other text I want to put here. So bring in the future. Ctrl C to copy. I'm going to come back here. Ctrl V to paste. All right, so I'm going to move this as well. Make sure I'm on my move tool. I'm going to move this towards this side as well. So bring in the future. Okay, I'm going to duplicate this as well. While holding my Alt key, I'm going to click and drag. You can see it's very, very easy to do. So once I'm done, I'm going to double click on this once again and go to where I have my text. I'm going to copy the text like so. I'm going to paste it. Ctrl C, Once again, Control V to paste. It's as simple as that. All right, so I'm going to use my cursor to move this as well. All right, so once I'm okay with what I'm doing, the next thing I want to do is I'll make sure, I think the spacing, I need to add more spacing to this. One left thing, I'm going to add it like so. Just bring this down as well. All right, so once I'm okay with what I have, I'll make sure these three text are well aligned. So I'm going to bring in a ruler from the side like so. I'm going to bring it here. Make sure, I think the three are well aligned. I think this has to come to the side a little bit like so, and this is okay. I'm going to just drag this and take it back. All right, so once I'm okay with what I have, the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in an image here, right? So I'm going to go to my, but before that I want to bring in a triangle. Yes, sorry, is a rectangle shape. I'm going to use my rectangle tool. I'm going to make a shape just below like so. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, and for the hue color I want to use this for this. Then for the stroke, I'm going to cancel the stroke as well. I don't want any stroke for this, like so. So once I'm okay, I'll go back to my move tool. So have this just down here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to click on Control T, because I want to kind of adjust this a little bit. Okay, like so. So once I'm okay with what I have, the next thing I want to do is I want to go to my I want to bring in an image. I'll go to my file, I'll go to place embedded, and you can as well drag and drop anyone you feel like is the image I want to use. I'm going to place it. All right, so once I'm done, I'm going to click on, I'm just going to adjust it like so. Like so. I'm going to adjust the size of the image like so. I'm going to click on this. So I have my image here. I'm going to move it towards the side. So I want to bring this image just below the rectangle I created earlier, which is this. So I'm going to click on, I'm just going to adjust the image like so towards the side. All right, so once I'm done, the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to I want to bring in a text. I'm going to go to my type tool. Okay, so after going to my type tool, go to my type, which is text. So I'm going to click on this like so, and I'm going to go to my text here. This is the text I want to use here, this one particular text. I'm going to copy, okay, and I'm going to come here and paste it, Control V. All right, so what I want to do next is that you can see this is too big, right? So what I'll do is that I'm going to resize this. First, I'm going to highlight everything. So I want to use Poppins medium for this instead of bold. Okay, and the size for this, the size I'll be using for this is let me just come down like let me just check this out. Oops. Let me check this out. Let me check out 13 and let me see how it's gonna look like. I still want to, let me highlight this once again. I want to change the color of this. So the color I want to use for this, I'm going to click on you can see I just highlighted the text. I'm going to click on the color box top here. I can use the eyedropper too, which is to select any color. Let me just check this color out. Okay, I'm going to click on OK. And I'm going to go back to my move tool, and I'm going to move this just somewhere around here. Okay, I'm going to double click on it again. I want to highlight it. So I don't want it to be aligned in the center. What I want to do is I want it to be left aligned. I'm going to click on this like so. You can see what we have now. I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to move it like so. All right, so once I'm okay with what I have, the next thing I want to do is that I want to bring in, I'm going to go back to my tests. Okay, I'm going to click on this, right? I'm going to go to my, where I have my text. I'm going to highlight this text, our services. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to highlight it and change the color. I'm going to click on the color box. I want to use this color below. Click on OK. Then I'm going to click on the size. I can make use of okay. Firstly, I want to make the font Poppins bold. I don't want to use medium for this. I want something bold there, so I'm going to make the size say 15 or 14 or thereabouts. Let me just impute 15. Let me check out 15. Okay, I think 15 is cool. The next thing I want to do is go back to my move tool. Then I'm going to just move this like so. I'm gonna move this like so, just somewhere around here. So I'm just gonna position this to where I want it to be. It's like somewhere like this. It's cool. So having done that, the next thing I want to do is that I want to go back to my text once again. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to where I have my tests. The first test is the services chronic care. Control C to copy, Control V to paste, Control A to highlight it. I want to change the color to not too black. I want something like so. Okay, I think it's cool. Then I want to change the size of this to like 13. Let me just enter 10. Let me check out 10. I don't want something so big. Okay, so I have this right here. Oh, I think it's just too small. I'm going to double click to highlight it once again, and let me make the size 13 or 12. Okay, so I'm just going to move it like so. All right, so having done that, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to duplicate this while holding my Alt key. Click on it and drag down like so. Double click. I'm going to bring in my text once again. So Control V to paste it. All right, so I'm going to duplicate this as well. Control by holding my Alt key, I'm going to drag it down as well, like so. So I want to make sure the spacing between these text are the same. The spacing between this and this are the same. I'm going to double click on it so that we can have everything well aligned. Control C. So Control V to paste. Then I'm going to hold my Alt key to duplicate this as well. Double click, and the third one here. Control C, Control V to paste like so. So once I'm done, the next thing I want to do is to make sure everything is well aligned and properly, and the spacing between everything is is the same. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is so while clicking on this first coding care, I'm going to go to my to where I have my icon. I'm going to drag this icon, this check icon, into Photoshop. I'm going to place it like so. So I'm going to resize it like so. I'm going to move it just around here. I'm going to resize it once again. Okay, so what I want to do is to just kind of adjust it like so. So Control T, I want to resize it more. I want to make it smaller. Okay, so I'm gonna move it like so. Okay, I think it's cool like this. So the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to duplicate this. Control J to duplicate, and I'm going to just bring it down like so, top of this. Okay, first one. I'm going to duplicate this as well. This is the layer. Control J to duplicate. I'm going to drag it down as well, like so. Then Control J once again, then bring this down as well. Okay, so once I'm done, the next thing I want to do is I want to click on this service. I want to bring it. I think I need to add to the. I'm going to double click on it. Let me make it 16. Let me check this out, or 17. The size of the service is 17. Oops, I think it's too big, right? Let me check it out. Okay, what I'll do is I'm going to move it like so. So I'll make sure it's well aligned, like so. All right. So once I'm done, the next thing I want to do is I want to group everything together, our services together. So I'm going to go to where I have my first, which is the services, down to this particular. I'm going to hold my shift key, click on this, then I'm going to click on Control G to group it. I'm going to double click and just name it our services, like so. All right. So having done that, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to click on Control T to select everything, like so. I'm going to just adjust this once, like so. All right, then I'm going to so what I want to do next is I'm going to duplicate this our services. I'm going to duplicate it. So I'll click on Control J to duplicate it. I'm going to double click the duplicated one, and I'm going to name this special care, which is this special care. Control C. I'm going to come back here, double click on the name, Control V to name it special care. So what I want to do next is to click on Control T, select the duplicated one. I'm going to move it down. I can use my arrow key to move it down. I just move it down like so. All right. So once I'm okay with it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on the title or the headline. I'm going to click on Control V to paste the special care. Then I'm going to click on the first key, special care here. I'm going to go to where I have my text. I'm going to highlight this, Control C to copy. So I hope you get what I'm doing. I just duplicated this so that's going to make our work easier instead of coming and starting all over again. So I duplicated this, I grouped all of this together, then duplicated it, then I just kind of edit it so that it can make our work faster. All right, so Control V to paste that. Then I'm going to click on this, double click on this as well, rehabilitation. I'm going to go to our special care. The special care here is nutritional coaching, Control C. I'm going to come back here, Control V to paste it as well. I'm going to come to the third one here, double click on it. I'm going to go to my notes, we have my text, copy this, weight loss, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I'm going to come here as well, then I'm going to double click. I'm going to go to where I have my text, then Control C, then Control V to paste it as well. So everything is done and dusted under our special care. So what I can do is I'm going to go back to my special care, make sure everything is selected, and I'm just going to move it like so. All right, so having done that, the next thing I want to do is that I want to add some information just below here. Okay, so I'll go to my texts as well. I'll go to my so you can see everything is well organized. You can look at my layer, so everything is well organized like so. So I think this headline, this one here, I want to group this as well. Let me just select the first one, then the third one, which is bringing. I'm going to hold my shift key and select the third as well, then Control G to group it. So after grouping, the next thing I want to do is to rename this. I can just name this. I can name this heading. Okay. All right. So now I have this as one group together, as you can see, right? So everything is well organized. Everything is well organized. So this shape here, which is this shape below. Okay, we have this here and this. Okay, separately. Good. The next thing I want to do now is to I'm going to go to my texts once again. I can just zoom in and just kind of come down. Okay, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to my text. We have my text. I'm going to copy this more information. Control C to copy. then Control V to paste. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to highlight this once again. I'm going to come to the size. I'm going to reduce the size to something like, let me make it 16 as well. Okay, so I'm going to move it. I'm going to go back to my move tool, and I'm going to move it like so. All right, so once I'm done with that, the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to go to I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to double click on it. So I'm going to go to we have my text. I'm going to copy this address, Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl V to paste. Then I'm going to highlight the address. I'm going to change this bold to medium. Okay, then the size as well, I'm going to make the size something like, okay, 13 is cool. I'm going to make sure it's well aligned. I'm bringing it to the side like so. All right, so once I'm done, the next thing I want to do is I want to duplicate this by holding my Alt key, then click and drag it down like so. All right, I'm going to double click as well. I'm going to go to where I have my text, then I'm going to copy this as a Ctrl C, then Ctrl V to paste like so. Then I'm going to adjust it as well. So I think I need to make this shorter. I'm going to double click on this. I'm going to make the size, 10 instead of 13. 10. Okay, so I'm going to make this one 10 as well. This one as well 10. So I'm going to make this 10 as well. All right, so once I'm okay with that, next thing I want to do is to just kind of resize this like so. Okay, I'm gonna resize it as well like so. I'm gonna bring this more information down a little bit. Okay, just going to resize this. Click on this. All right, so the next thing I want to do is to I'm gonna duplicate everything together here. This information, I'm gonna click on the first one here, then down to this. I'm gonna hold my Shift key and click on the third one, Ctrl G to group everything. I'm gonna name this, let me just name this info. Okay, then we have info grouped together. As well, you can see it makes your work to be more organized. The next thing I want to do is to go to my rectangle. I'm just going to draw a rectangle like so. Okay, and I'm going to make the color the same color as this one here. Okay, the stroke, I'm going to cancel the stroke. I'm going to go back here, back to my move tool. I'm going to duplicate this. I want to make this 3. While holding my Alt key, I'll click on this and drag to the side. Okay, so while holding my Alt key, okay, so while holding my Alt key once again, make sure it's well aligned with this. Okay, while holding my Alt key, I'm going to duplicate this once again. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, let me just kind of zoom in a little bit more. All right, the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to click on the first shape, which is this. I'm going to go to I'm going to bring in the first, I want to bring this icon, this Facebook icon. I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to resize it like so. Resize it. I'm just kind of drop it down here. So I'm going to resize it like so. I'm going to resize it like so. Okay, let me check this out. Okay, so once I'm okay with what I have, I'm just going to double click on this, on the layer, the Facebook layer, which is this. I'm going to add color overlay. I'm going to click on this. I want to change this to, I want to choose this color here, right? I'm going to click on OK. Okay, all right, the next thing I want to do is that I want to go back to I'm going to click on the second shape, which is this. I'm going to go to where I have I'm going to bring the Instagram icon as well into this and drop it. Very, very simple to do, very, very easy to do, right? So I'm going to resize this as well. I'm going to move it as well. I'm going to resize. Okay. I'm going to move. Just going to. I'm going to move it as well, like so. So I'm going to double click on the layer as well. I'm going to add color overlay. Then have this color applied already. Okay, cool. The next one is I'm going to click on the third shape as well. Go to my, I'm bringing a Twitter icon for the Photoshop and drag it here. Cool. I'm going to resize it as well. I'm going to resize this as well, like so. I'm going to bring this just here. Okay, just resize a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to have something like this. Ctrl T. I want to make it bigger a little bit more. Okay. Alright, so once I'm okay, I'm going to double click on the layer as well. After double clicking, I'll go to layer, color overlay, then click on this. Alright, so once I'm done, you can see this is getting more beautiful. The next thing I want to do is I want to group everything together from this, all of this shape and the icon together. I'll come down, click on the first icon, which is this, the first icon, which is Twitter. Now I'll click on the last shape here. While holding my shift key, I'll click on it. Then I'll click on Ctrl G to group it. And I'm going to name this, let's name this social. Alright, then I'm going to, while select, I'm going to use my arrow key to move it, to nudge it like so. I'm going to nudge it properly. Alright, the next thing I want to do is that I'm going to click on this. Oops, let me go to, I want to make it, I want to bring it inside this actually. So I'm going to go to my texts. Okay, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to bring the text I want to use. The text I want to use is this @solat out here. Ctrl C to copy, then Ctrl V to paste. And I'm going to just kind of move it. I'm going to adjust it like so. While I'm on my move tool, as you can see, I'm going to move it like so on top of this, like so. Okay, so once I'm okay with what I have, the next thing I want to do is that let me just check it out. The next thing is to bring in the logo. We are almost done, right? I want to bring in the logo here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where I have my logo. Is the logo I want to use. I'm going to drag it. For doing that, let me just check out something here. Okay, just going to move this so everything is grouped together under social and under tab info. Everything okay. So I'll go to where I have my logo. I can either drag and drop or come to file, place embedded. So it's still the same thing. I'm going to click on this and we'll click on place. So I'm going to just resize it like so, and I'm going to just move it. So I want to make sure this is well aligned. I'm going to bring in a ruler to just make sure it's well aligned like so. Everything here is well aligned. So I'm going to click on the logo. Just going to bring the logo like so, somewhere around here. Okay, I can use my arrow key to nudge it properly. Okay, so once I'm cool, the next thing I want to do is to, so I'll go to where I have I'll go to my texts and I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to go to where I have my text here. I'm going to copy this Solat here, Ctrl C, then Ctrl V. I'm going to click on Ctrl A to highlight it, and I'm going to change the color to black, not entirely black. So I'm going to change the medium to bold, like so. So I can just kind of make it, okay, I think 10 is cool. Yeah, 10 points. I'm going to just go back to my move tool, and I'm going to move this like so. Okay, something like this. But I think the logo, Ctrl T. I think I want to make the logo to be smaller, like so. Okay, I'm gonna move it to the top. I'm gonna move this like so. So this is our logo. So that's okay. So once I'm done, Ctrl O to resize like so. Okay. So let me just take away the ruler. So we are done with our design. Let me just see anything we still need to do. Alright, this is very, very cool. Bringing the future of healthcare. Okay. Okay, you can see everything is well aligned. You have to check properly if everything is well aligned. Yeah. Okay. And okay, everything is cool. Next thing I want to do now is to apply a mockup to this. Okay, so to do that, the first thing we're doing, I want to save this. So what we're doing, I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my file, save as. So that's a little banner. Okay, I'm going to make this JPEG. I'm gonna make this JPEG. Okay, I'm gonna click on save. I'm gonna click on this. Okay, so now it's been saved. The next thing I want to do is to go to where I have my mockup. As you can see, I'm gonna double click to open my mockup in Photoshop. So this is the mockup I want to use. So once the mockup is opened, the next thing is to apply it to the mockup. So you can see we have this is where you can apply it to the mockup. I switch this so you can see this is the design on the mockup, right? So I'm gonna double click on this thumbnail here. You can see this thumbnail. I'm gonna double click on it, then it takes me here where I can place my design. So I'm gonna switch this design off. So how did I know the size of this roll-up banner? The size I used a particular size for this banner when I wanted to start designing, right? So that it can fit in properly. So to know the size, once you get to somewhere like this, you can just go to image, then image size. So you can see I used 1772 by 3650 pixels. So that's where this is how I got the size of the exact size of this roll-up banner. Cancel. So what we want to do now next is to place our what we just designed here, right? So I'm gonna go to my file, place embedded. Then you can as well drag and drop, but I prefer to go to side point. So this is what we just designed, right? I'm gonna select. I'm gonna click on place. So you can see it's fitting properly into the mockup. The size is the exact size of the mockup. That's why I use the exact size of the mockup. If we didn't use the exact size of the mockup, we have to start readjusting it, and we might not have a perfect result. Okay, so once it's done like this, you can just check it out. You can see next thing I want to do is to come over to this and click on this cancel and click on yes. Then boom, we have our banner ready. You can see what we have here. Look at what we have here. Isn't this beautiful? Look at. So we just designed our roll-up banner, our perfect roll-up banner. Look at how beautiful it is, right? So once we are okay with what we have, we can still do an adjustment to this. You can see this is the background here, right? This is the background layer down here. So I can change the background by clicking on this. I can change the background to anyone I feel like, any background at all you feel like. Look at. You can choose any background you feel like. Look at. So you can play around this as well, like so. You can play around this. Just select any background you feel like so. As you can see, let's just go with something like this. Oops. Okay, you can just play around this and just go back. Okay, let me just cancel it. All right, so we have this background, the default background. So once we are okay with what we have, we can just click on, I want to save this. I'm going to go to my file once again, save as. So I want to save this now as let me just save this as JPEG. And I'm going to go with banner and just say banner Solars. All right, I'm gonna click on save and okay. Right, the next thing is to check out what we just did. This is the real banner. Let me open it and let's see how it looks like. Perfect. Look at this. Look at. Isn't this beautiful? Look at. Wow. So thank you very much for going for watching this. I hope you learned a lot during this video. So thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.